Hello students, welcome to Legacy IAS Academy. Today we are going to discuss about Telangana's 8th anniversary of a state formation, and in this particular video we are going to discuss about the historical background that have led to development of creation of a separate Telangana state and what were the events that have caused Telangana to gain statehood. So let us start and first of all deal about the context that why we are discussing today's issue. So as discussed just now, that the Telangana state is celebrating its 8th formation anniversary because Telangana was given the statehood in year 2014. In the light of this present anniversary, the state government have released a 172-page report, and this report basically highlights the schemes and changes under the present chief ministers, which is aimed at bettering the welfare of the people of the state. Event was not only highlighted in the state of Telangana, but was also celebrated in the nation capital Delhi with the Union Ministry of Culture and Union Home Minister Amit Shah in attendance. So let us try to understand historically how the statehood of Telangana has been gained. So let us try to understand the historical background of creation of separate state of Telangana. So we can go back to year 1945 when we have a rebellion that is called as Telangana Rebellion that was launched by a number of farmers against the prevalent practices of Jagirdari. Under the Jagirdari system, a particular person was given we can say responsibility of collecting revenues from the land and also looking after this land. This was a very oppressive kind of system where the actual cultivator, actual peasant only used to get peanuts in respect of the kind of work, physical work he put all year in the agricultural field. So that is why the people were not very happy about the system and they revolted against or rebelled against the Jagirdari system. The rebellion was also supported by Comrades Association, which was associated or affiliated with the then Communist Party of India. We can say, to prevent such kind of rebellion and revolt, then there was Rajakars who were held by Kashim Rijvi. They started brutally repressing the Telangana rebellion and started to kill a lot of people. And in coming days, Rajakars, which were the personal militia of Kashim Rijvi, engaged in a large-scale violence and murder of a lot of peasants of Telangana region. Further development happened later in 1947 when India got independence. Then in the Union of India asked Hyderabad to accede to the Indian Union. However, accession of Hyderabad could not be completed because in lieu of accession, Nizam of Hyderabad put a lot of such demands which were unacceptable to the Indian government. And that is why the Nizams and Rajakars went into cahoot, and Rajakars were basically, especially we can talk about the Kashim Rijvi. He was the one who was actually very much controlling and very much influencing the decisions of Nizam of Hyderabad. Due to this, and also as we discussed the kind of violence situation that was going on in Hyderabad against the peasants, the government of India signed a standstill agreement with the Nizam of Hyderabad. The main purpose of signing of this agreement was to curb the violence and also to ensure that all the agreements that was signed between the Hyderabad state and early British government will still remain valid. Then further, the peace due to this standstill agreement could not prevail for longer than a year, and only after a year again a new fresh violence broke out. Due to curtail this kind of violence, and mainly the reason why this violence broke out was because Hyderabad started violating the condition of the standstill agreement which it signed with the government of India. Due to this, there was large-scale violence, murder, protests, and a kind of situation of anarchy was prevailing in the state at that time, mainly as I discussed due to the violent activities of the Kashim Rijvi and his Rajakars. To curtail this kind of situation and to stop the Hyderabad state or to prevent the Hyderabad state into going into full anarchy, Government of India with its military launched an operation called as Operation Polo that occurred or that took place in September 1948. As a result of this Operation Polo, when military went and started having fight with the Rajakars, within a period of 5 days, Indian military overtook the state of Hyderabad, and Hyderabad then finally became an integral part of India. On this particular map, you can see this is the movement of Indian military in Operation Polo. As we can see, the Indian military has moved from all the 4 sides, north, west, south and east, and started to besiege the Hyderabad state. The next development happened around 4 or 5 years later when the state was decided by the government to be given a recognition or reorganization on the basis of languages. So for this purpose, in 1953, the government of India created a committee that is called as a States Reorganization Committee. The State Reorganization Committee also decided to linguistically reorganize the Hyderabad. And in this context, in year 1956, it was finally decided that the Marathi dominant Marathwada region of Hyderabad state will go to the Bombay state, that was largely a Marathi speaking population apart from Gujarati speaking population. The southwestern Kannada dominant state went to the state of Mysore that time. And the main problem or main dispute was related to that how to bifurcate the Telugu dominant region of Hyderabad state. So in that context, the then government of Andhra Pradesh, it has said that will merge the state of Andhra with the state of Telangana and will create a Vishal Andhra province. However, this could not occur. In 1961, the State Reorganization Committee actually said that instead of merging Telangana and Andhra, it should be created or it should be kept out as a separate state. However, this suggestion of SRC was ignored, and the government of Andhra that time passed state reorganization bill, and then Andhra and Telangana were merged together into single state with Hyderabad being its capital. There was one more thing that was going on in the same time, that is agitation due to the Mulki Rules. So what are the Mulki Rules? Mulki Rules were a kind of rules that were meant as a safeguard to ensure that the Mulkis were basically the native resident of Telangana, they do not face any kind of difficulty as far as the procurement of government jobs is done. So basically the Mulki Rules are safeguard so that the people or native people of Telangana are able to get into the government job. However, in year 1952, Hyderabad government accepted a large number of non-Mulkis into government position. Due to this, people started to protest against this particular decision. Further, in year 1969, due to the same problems, there was a widespread student protest that started to take place and that turned into a large-scale violence, and the overall law and order situation of the region, of the whole Telangana and Andhra Pradesh region went into a turmoil. So, in 1969, when all these things were going on, there was an organization that was set up called as Telangana Praja Samiti. And Telangana Praja Samiti, as it joined the revolt or as it joined the protest by the students against the violation of Mulki Rules, the protest again turned very violent in nature. The Andhra Pradesh High Court at the same time declared the Mulki Rules null and void. However, the situation again underwent change when the 1972, the Supreme Court of India upheld the Mulki Rules. Due to this, there was a movement that is called as Jayanagar movement that began, which started a demand for a creation of a separate state of Andhra. Further, in 1973, due to these continuous changes or due to this continuous tumult that was going on in this region, the president's rule was imposed on the Andhra Pradesh state. Further, in the same year, the government of India led by Srimati Indira Gandhi passed 32nd amendment to the Constitution of India. Under this amendment, it was decided that the whole region of Andhra Pradesh will be divided into zones. Total 6 zones will be demarcated, and the reservation in the government jobs will be on the basis of the population distribution within these 6 zones. So basically, after passage of this 32nd amendment, the Mulki rule was repeated. Then further, in year 2001, as we discussed, the demand of Telangana state has kind of died down. Further, in 2001, another party was set up under the chairmanship, or we can say under the leadership of K. Chandrasekhar Rao, and he revived this again demand of separate Telangana state, and he set up his own political party that is called as Telangana Rashtra Samiti, which is currently in power in the state of Telangana, and KCR currently is the chief minister since year 2014. This demand was further exacerbated, or we can say further intensified, when the Andhra Pradesh present chief minister, the then chief minister Y.S. Rajasekhar Reddy unfortunately died. This caused a fresh political turmoil in the politics of the state, and it also presented KCR with an opportunity to again raise the demand of separate Telangana state. And thus, to ensure that, he went on fast unto death. And due to this, eventually, the then Union Home Minister declared that Telangana would achieve a statehood, which will be a separate state from Andhra Pradesh. So that is all about the brief background and how the Telangana has gained a statehood. That is all for today. Thank you very much.